Welcome to the outside cycling vlog, where we go ride bikes in the great outdoors. Isn't this great? Yeah, look, I've got a bit to cover today actually. I'm kind of excited about this vlog. But just on this, I've resurrected an old route that I used to do back in the day. Yeah, I'll drop the link below. Because I know people have been asking about like doing rides in your local area and stuff. And it's an interesting one because like when we did this lockdown last time, you know, I was into that. I was like super motivated, like, oh, explore new roads, exciting, you know, experiences. And this time around, that motivation's not there. So like, I'm still motivated to get out and ride, or at least ride my bike, stay fit. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just interested how you guys sort of cope. I don't want to sound like I'm whinging, like everyone else is in the same boat, but it's interesting how your mindset kind of changes. So for those of you guys who have been following me a bit on Instagram, I've been trying to do like a daily story thing of like what's going on with the family, with the lockdown. So that's kind of probably the more sort of personal side of stuff that's going on at the moment. And yeah, I'm kind of trying to keep the channel a little bit as a, yeah, review, kind of see what's going on. Speaking of what's going on, what are you up to? There you go. Yeah, and sort of keep the channel as a bit more of a answer questions, a bit more polished. Well, polished, it says with inverted commas, but you know what I mean.
4. All right, week 10. Let's do this.
I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be going this direction.
Imagine if it never goes back.
That's it, it's over.
Oh yeah,
Told you.
that's true. Now that we got that out of the way, I do have some show and tell for you today. Well, it's rather more show than tell, but we have a mountain bike, ladies and gentlemen. We have a mountain bike, the Devel Project Mega version 2 in full Aurora colorway. Now, there is no point me doing a full review or first ride review. I think we're probably a month or two away from that. But what I can tell you is this. Once again, we're using the Japanese Toray T1000 carbon, the EPS layering technology. It's a one-piece, single mold, and it looks friggin' amazing. But the subject that I want to address today is thickness and its benefits. Right, how am I going to make this not just continuous innuendo? Suck it up, Chris. The importance of frame depth. So frame depth is simply the thickness of the carbon layering on your frame. And there's two things you need to know here. This is the one most variable specification from manufacturer to manufacturer and brand to brand. And the other thing, it's the hardest one piece of information to actually find out about your frame. And there is a reason for that. Let's go back to the white frame vlog for a moment. We talked about the mold sharing and the design sharing and how they were just all using the same stuff. And it made it sound like basically just get a mold, you pour some carbon into it, you take it out of an oven and you put some paint on it. Well, that's kind of true, but the one detail individual manufacturers can and will adjust is the layering thickness. So whilst the brands might use the same molds, they'll use a different thickness, especially to different parts of the frame. So the seat stays might be a different thickness to the top tube, which will be a different thickness to the down tube. A great example of this was the old Focus Zalco Max, which I have on very good record, used the same mold as a number of other bikes at the time, but it was a lot lighter than those other bikes. And that was due to the thickness of the seat stays. Now you may or may not remember that bike, but those seat stays were thin. I mean, the bike climbed so well, but they snapped. They snapped pretty easily. Having said that, I would still rate that bike. But you see what I mean? So the bike has different thicknesses. Who cares? And in a sense, you're right, because for a frame to achieve UCI approval, it has to pass a number of tolerance tests and stress tests. So who cares how thick it has to be to achieve that, right? Well, I will tell you why this might interest you. Most designers working in the industry still have no idea what to do about road disc layups. Because the tolerance and braking of a road disc bike moves to the seat stays and one side of the fork, so the layering has to change. And take it from someone who is in group chats with designers working in currently operational factories. They are still experimenting with it. The first thing someone says when they jump on a road disc frame bike is how stiff the front end is. Designers have heard that a million times, and they still don't have a fix for it. Placing the stress points of braking onto a completely different part of the road bike not only requires a different design, but it requires different layering. The thing that I wanted to talk about here, the thickness. And that's what I'm saying, because the thickness of these particular components or parts of the bike are different to what their rim brake cousins are, it's basically changed the way the bike has felt. And it's one of the reasons why designers don't want to put any resources into rim brake anymore, because they have to push so much R&D into solving this disc brake layering issue. You know, and people that say, well, why don't I just use the technology from mountain biking? Because, you know, disc brakes have been on mountain bikes for ages, they work amazingly. Well, like, the geometry of these are totally different. The thickness of these are totally different. Not to mention the fact you use proprietary forks that are 40,000 times the size of a road fork. So, I don't know, I think there's a lot in this. I'm really interested in your thoughts on it. I kind of see there's two ways to look at this. The first is the people that are going to say, well, I told you so, disc brake, it's always going to be blah, blah, blah. And the other way to look at it is, well, this is a design space that is evolving and improving. The road disc frame bikes of 3 years ago aren't as good as the ones this year, and the ones in 3 years' time will be better. The other thing you have to remember here is the GROUPSET technology is in front of the frame technology. And so the frame technology is catching up to where the GROUPSETs are. Needless to say, this will hopefully spark a few opinions. So let us know your thoughts. Do you think road disc brake bikes have improved in the last 3 years, or are we in a holding pattern? Huge shout to Dylan and the guys racing up in Brisbane. I was so proud of that video. I really am. Like, if you haven't seen it, I'll put the link below. Guys, get around that kind of stuff. I'm so proud of the guys to have actually, well, obviously get it, the result was just amazing, but also, you know, embrace the vlog and do that for us. I thought that was fantastic, and it was really good insight. Keep the suggestions on Instagram. I popped comment in saying, guys, give me some suggestions on how I should build this up, taking in mind basically every group set is completely impossible to find, but we'll give it a crack, hey? What I thought we'd quickly do is just give you a little update on how we are getting on. So Catherine Lee is, what year at school are you in?
Year 2.
Catherine's in year 2. And we are homeschooling for Catherine. So how does your day look at the moment?
Exciting, but sometimes the math it gets boring because I have a lot of hard stuff to do. But now I'm doing like easy stuff. So I'm getting really bored because I already know it. Well, I listened to this teaching video, but then I also need help as well because sometimes they don't tell me a lot of stuff or information.
Is there anything you might change to make it better?
Ask her on Zoom meetings if she could just tell me a little bit more information because sometimes I don't know.
Well, what I thought we might quickly do is jump in and see how Jesse is getting on. He was very jealous of the last vlog not being on there and the other boys being up there, so we'll have to give him some camera time. He's actually been up to some pretty cool stuff with Rapha and with the Nero coaching stuff, so we'll check out how the man's doing.
So coil update, as well as some stuff from Nero coaching, is I've been involved in the Rapha wear testing program, and I think a lot of people probably don't know just how in-depth that testing program is. So Rapha have a dedicated wear testing coordinator, Hamish, who runs it all, and I've got 3 products on the go at the moment. The big advantage, I guess, for Rapha is they can send products worldwide to any of their testers. Now, the first thing came in this box, and I can't show you what it is, but you can maybe guess what could have been in there. Then the other 2 products I'm testing at the moment is an update to the Shake Dry Gore-Tex jacket and an update to the Pro Team Dip Tights. So I'm putting them through their paces, any opinions I have on those, which is pretty cool and exciting to be a part of. And a final update from a Nero coaching side is we've actually had an update to the Nero training club. We've actually updated the onboarding process. So after someone becomes a member of the club, there's a new process there. And we've also allowed the ability for people to link into the club with an existing Today's Plan account. So it's really good to have that and just have that whole onboarding process streamlined even further than it was, which is really cool.
Thank you, Jesse, and I hope you have good luck with your coaching stuff, and please subscribe to the channel and press the like button.
You're a pro, Captain Lee.
Yeah.